Yeah, I think really maybe the first, I hate to call it intervention, but change maybe families can make or assistance to start supporting their child is that the use of visuals or pictures or something to help the child understand what it is you expect them to do and what you want them to do is so unbelievably successful that we really try to get every family to embrace this concept. If you have a time of day or a situation where you know it's a struggle for you and your child, as a consultant, I turn and say to people, where are your visuals? Have you visually shown the child or the person, the teenager, what it is you want? So whether that's a visual schedule of how to get themselves dressed in the morning, or it's a visual showing them that you want a quiet voice and sitting in a chair, or it's the use of first and then. First, you sit in the chair, then you can have your Cheetos. All those visuals increase communication and verbal language, decrease anxiety, and decrease challenging behaviors. It doesn't have to be any particular format. I mean, there's all kinds of ideas you can see on all kinds of websites about them. The key is just to now start thinking or trying to think like they do, which is that your auditory information doesn't make a lot of sense to them sometimes. It gets caught up in other things that they're focused on. The visual will always make sense. And when you're consistent in using them, their behavior changes. For our boys, we would have a schedule that would show them with more like graphic images. These days on Google image search and clip art can come up for topics, but their first schedule was wake up, get dressed, eat breakfast, brush teeth, watch Thomas the Tank Engine, go to school. So that was the morning routine. Kids on the spectrum love to be able to predict what is going to happen. They really like routine and they don't want things to change. Well, we'll teach change, but you can't understand the concept of change unless you know what is consistent. So consistency is key. And we would review with those pictures every day and have them pull the little Velcro picture off and put it in an all done pocket. And so for the first while, yes, we're hand over hand taking them through their schedule and putting it in. But pretty soon they're doing it by themselves, and then they're doing the activity by themselves. So one of those other pieces that happens with visual schedules is that we teach independence. We remove people from having to always be there to help them with something. Now for some of our kids, like for my Zach, who struggled a lot, when it said get dressed, I might have another visual that would show him exactly the order to get dressed in. So it might say underwear, pants, shirt, socks, shoes, but maybe I didn't need to do that extensive of a visual for Spencer or Josh. So the intervention is the same, the format might be slightly different. Sometimes in certain pictures, because you want a certain object to be really clear, you might take that digital photo. Other times you can, I used to cut off the fronts of boxes of cereal or something and make a choice board for what are you going to eat for breakfast and picture everything so that they could point. And then we say the words again and they're hearing all that language repeated. So it starts to become more familiar. And next thing I would know, I have kids saying, cheery for Cheerios. And eventually we get all of that information together and they start to talk more. So the type of format, again, is not as critical as just ensuring that you get some kind of picture in front of them.